I believe that the fires we're cast upon are the flames we shall become. I believe in a common calling where our temples pray as one. I believe in the word of wonder and a kingdom for the saved.
Hello. Larry Pollock with Leo Mayrhofer and Luke Carroll here, Triple X podcast. Today we got a couple interesting subjects to talk about. First, we're going to go over Andrew Jack's recent appearance at the Romania Pro, and obviously his improved performance and conditioning at the Olympia, and what caused that to come about. Over all these years, we've been waiting to see him come fully conditioned, and now he seems to have figured out the formula and what happened to make that happen. We're also going to talk about in Romania, the Prague Pro. Apparently Martin Fitzwater had a little blowout with Giles Thomas, and it's been all over the internet, different ideas about who's right, wrong, and basically what happened there. And then we'll get into some live Q&A as well. So let's go over Andrew Jack. And so this year, he came the best condition ever that anybody has seen. And, a lot of people, we've been waiting to see him come in condition. And he finally did. And the question is, what actually caused that? Was it diet, new drug protocol, training? What was the secret? And then he came in even better in Romania. So from my understanding,
better in Romania. What was better in Romania?
Well, I'm gonna get into that right now. So first of all, at the Olympia, he was the best condition we've ever seen him. And some people actually arguably said he could have won. In Romania, he came in fuller, and his condition was, I don't think it was exactly as tight as it was at the Olympia. However, with a fuller, bigger look, he was even more impressive because his condition was close to Olympia condition. But he was much bigger and fuller. And the key to that, what's that?
I said I agree with that.
The key to that was actually nothing to do with drugs. Right. It had nothing to do with drugs. It had everything to do with his training. And
Larry,
in the last few years,
people don't want to hear that. They want to hear the drugs. I'm kidding. Keep going. Sorry.
I'll be right back. Yeah, I know what people want to hear, but I'm going to tell the truth. We're not here to tell what people want to hear. I'm going to tell the truth.
That's good.
So the truth is that he was training again with Chris Lewis for the last few years, and Chris he trained what's his name? Sean Roden when he won the Olympia. So right. Chris is a pretty well-renowned trainer, but he had a fault. I guess Chris Lewis and Chris Aceto had a disagreement or falling out over Andrew's conditioning last year, Olympia. And so I guess they decided for whatever reason that he was not going to train with Chris Lewis anymore. So he asked Chris Aceto who should he train with, and Chris recommended Kamal El-Gardni. So he went there to train with Kamal the last 10 weeks for the Olympia. And Kamal, if anybody knows, he's been training for a long time, 40 years of training, and he's known for being in like top condition. He's also known for being probably one of the hardest training bodybuilders in bodybuilding, currently and maybe ever. And when I say hardest training, we're not just talking intensity, but intensity and volume. Nick Walker trained with him. I think it was last year, a couple years ago, and Nick said the training was brutal and he barely could keep up with it. So Kamal's training was a combination of high intensity, doing drop sets and failure and all this, plus volume added to it. Yes, we're going to talk about Martin. We'll get to that. So anyways, he said that going into the Olympia, Andrew was actually behind schedule. So what he did is he upped the training volume, and instead of doing more cardio, they upped the training volume and the intensity to get him in the Olympia condition. And it worked. The higher training volume with the high intensity brought him in the condition that we had never seen before. Now, after the Olympia, he changed the training, basically going a little bit lower on the volume, but keeping the intensity high, and not as frequent, and therefore allowing him to fill out more going into Romania. So he basically said he based the training on what he needed to accomplish. And so then when he got to Romania a few weeks later, he brought a much bigger package with close to the same condition.
So he, instead of adjusting the calories, they adjusted the calorie burn.
What
they not only didn't they did not only adjust the calories, they used less fat burners and less cardio and more training.
No, I said instead of adjusting the calories, they adjusted the calorie burn.
Who's
yeah, no, you're correct.
What podcast like see them? Did he like release a podcast where he talked about it, or who's he being coached by right now?
He just talked about it like 1 hour ago with Ron Harris. Kamal.
Oh, okay.
But no, they did talk about it with Chris Aceto, but they didn't get into the details of what he did. But now he just got into the details, and Kamal talked about it on Ron Harris' podcast. So he basically adjusted the training as Kamal thought, what he needed to accomplish between the two preps. But Kamal is known for high volume plus high intensity, which
I hope that Andrew keeps doing that because he looks phenomenal, and I hope that he comes into next Olympia and wins it actually, because I think
they already have plans going into the Arnold that he's going to come out 8 weeks. I guess he had a short time period to work with Kamal, only like 4 or 5 weeks before the Olympia to do this. This time before the Arnold, he's coming out to Tampa where he lives. I believe it's in Tampa. And he's going to do an 8-week prep with him.
Okay.
They already have that planned. So he can make even more improvements.
I mean, I'd like to see him do in the off-season a little bit.
Package.
I'd like to see him do some off-season there so he can
Kamal's going to work. Kamal's going to continue working with him remotely until the 8 weeks. And then the 8 weeks he'll come out and work with him in person.
Yeah.
And stay with him. But basically, as we know, Andrew's relatively new to bodybuilding. He's only been bodybuilding for like 5 years. And
competitive
and Kamal said that, he just needed competitive bodybuilding, right? And he needed someone to push him. And that's what he really needed. And he's willing to do the work, but he needed the push and he needed the guidance in the training.
Well, I mean, I say that all the time. There's like having a good training partner can mean all the difference in the world. I always made by far my best jumps when I had like a good training partner that was pushing me. And, I think it works. We see it with Brett and Martin, Martin moving back close to Brett. Martin propelled himself to such a high level at the Olympia and winning shows now, where before he was having, he was kind of struggling to win a show. So I think that having a training partner like that, and then, just having a training partner for the intensity, someone that's like really intense is just it's a game changer.
I think that would be a good idea for me to train with Regan.
Yeah, absolutely.
because
I help him.
I talk with Dom a lot, and I think it would be really good if Regan would train with me for him.
Mm-hmm.
But it would also be cool for me.
Yeah.
And I would probably just do it one extra day of legs.
There you go. No, that'd be awesome, because I mean we all see the potential in Regan, and it just seems like he's kind of in that like lower second call out at the Olympia. So it'd be cool to see him start stacking on a little more size, a little better condition, and come in just like we think his potential is.
Mm-hmm. That's why I started logbooking now.
But the bottom line is
to be able to train like and keep progressing by myself too. So I push myself in those sets for the exercises that I log. So I wouldn't log every friggin' exercise, just the ones where I want to get stronger.
Are you using that RP app? What's your review?
No, I use an actual book.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I use a spreadsheet, Google spreadsheet now, but I mean I always make my best progress like solo when I'm using a logbook.
Actually, I might switch to
there's a program called Notebook I use with clients.
Yeah, I got a pretty
a lot of people
I think I told you guys about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just log it right on your phone while you're doing it.
Yeah, I don't want my phone.
You can program the workout in advance, and then you can log it as you're going through it.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our same ways to make the same end. We all have different ways to make for the same end.
No, it's going to get the same thing whether you write it down on paper or you put it in the phone. It just depends on what you
some
think
people
is
like to write it down
convenient.
better.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote it down for years. I just kind of started using my phone because it's just like, I don't know. I got the phone with me, so I'm listening to music anyways. So I just plug it in, and then a lot of times my my logbooks would get fucked up because like a protein shake would spill in my bag or something, so I wouldn't have like my logs going back. So now it's all in my history. So, but let's talk about what's up,
Andrew.
Yeah, I just want to say the bottom line is everybody, thinks it's a magic drug protocol or some special diet thing. They didn't really change the diet or the drug protocol much at all. If anything, he said he even might have lowered the drugs a little bit. What changed was the training intensity and volume.
I mean,
and
maybe
that made all the difference.
Maybe Chris is trying some different, peak week protocols, maybe different diuretic usage or different loading, different depleting, different water.
No, he said it was all, Chris himself said it was all Kamal. It was all Kamal with the training that made the difference. Aceto said that himself. No different drug protocols, no different nutrition stuff. It was all about
the peaking
training.
Was the same. The peaking was also the same.
He didn't say Chris didn't say specifically, but according to Kamal, what they did differently was, they were crunched for time going into the Olympia to get in shape. So he did even more volume to get to burn the extra calories, I suppose. And then when Prague, he lowered the volume, and then he was able to, fill out more going into the prep. I doubt, as far as like the actual peak week, they didn't mention anything about that being different. Maybe Chris adjusted things depending on how he looks. I don't know.
Yeah, Chris doesn't really talk about.
But they really said that.
So I'm sure he's playing with.
Yeah, he doesn't talk about what he does.
Protocols, but
Chris says himself he adapts his diet and everything to what he sees in front of him and what he thinks the person needs.
Yeah,
and that's what Kamal did with the training as well. He saw that Andrew needed more conditioning, so he upped the volume and used that to burn the calories and bring in the conditioning. But again, he upped the volume, but he kept the intensity in there. So he was doing high volume and high intensity at the same time.
Did he say anything about the weight being different from one show to the next?
About what?
His weight, different weight.
I think he was actually bigger and heavier in Romania because he was.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking also. So I'm wondering if they said he had a different. He was heavier.
Yeah, well, he wasn't struggling to lose the body fat at that point, so he was able to, pull back a little bit and fill out more.
Yeah,
and not have to, go as high on the volume. So that's what I got from what he said, which makes sense, And I think you burn more calories lifting weights and more conditioning than you do actually from doing cardio. So they actually use weights in place of cardio to bring in that extra stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well,
okay. So let's talk about what happened with Martin. And before we do that, I want to give you guys a little history of things like this that have gone on in the sport. And some of this you may be familiar with, and some of this is probably before your time. First of all, back in the day when I started, I trained at Gold's and World Gym in Santa Monica and Venice. And the majority of the pro bodybuilders in the world were all training there in those two gyms. So there was a certain atmosphere. I'd walk in a World Gym on any given morning and there'd be 20 pros training in the gym. With that, keep in mind, you've got 20 pro bodybuilders all geared up and on diets, getting ready for contests. And you had amateurs too that were pretty serious, getting ready for nationals and other things. So you might have 30 or 40 bodybuilders training in the gym on gear and training intensely. And as you can imagine, from time to time, there'd be disputes. And those disputes could escalate into physical confrontations, which had happened often. So there was something called respect that we don't see anymore. And there was a certain thing that you just understood being in that environment, that you're training around. I just got used to training around angry bodybuilders because literally from the age of like 14, when I first walked in to Don Peters' gym, which literally turned into Gold's gym, I walked in there and there was Bertil Fox and Lee Haney and those guys were training in there. And, I knew that basically if I ran my mouth, I ran the risk of getting my ass kicked. So from a young age, I understood that, you probably shouldn't say things that you can't back up. And I did have even one fight when I was 16 years old at Steve Davis' gym with an older bodybuilder in the parking lot. He just called me out, so we went at it. I was 16. I actually held my own. But, back then it was like you didn't say certain things because if you ran your mouth, somebody might call you out on your shit and you might have an altercation and you might get your ass kicked.
This situation is definitely totally wrong.
Hold on. Like there's things, Leo, that I haven't told you yet. You don't know. Let me finish. So fast forward, we get into the Phil Heath era. Phil Heath was the first Mr. Olympia that had to deal with social media. And while Phil Heath was at the reign of his Olympia, he had to deal with a guy named Louis Marco. And Louis Marco was a skinny little douche from Canada that sat behind his computer in his basement and just talked shit about Phil Heath and other pro bodybuilders all day long. And Phil was actually, probably by his mistake, visibly angry about the whole situation. He actually was at an Olympia talking shit to Louis Marco. That's how bad Louis Marco pissed him off. with Leo Marco talking about bubble guts. He just constantly wouldn't leave him alone. Just kept harassing him. Well, I guess he also said something to William Bonac or about William Bonac. Well, Louis Marco went to FIBO and approached a booth where William Bonac was there. And if anybody knows William Bonac's history, William Bonac's a straight up killer. He's not somebody to mess with. Like he went to prison for murder, basically, or attempted murder. And anyways, Leo Marco walked up to William Bonac, and William Bonac slapped him in the face right there at the booth and said, "Never speak my name." And, you know, honestly, prior to that, I wanted to slap Louis Marco because he was talking so much shit about Phil Heath. He was getting on my nerves. I would have slapped him too. But after that, we didn't hear from Louis Marco again. I think he shit his pants after that. And Louis Marco kind of disappeared. And he's just recently, you know, popped up again in the bodybuilding scene and started back up on YouTube talking shit again. But I guess he feels, you know, after 20-something years later, he can start doing it. But he's not doing it like he was. Not yet, anyways. And hopefully he doesn't. But that incident with William Bonac put Louis Marco in check that you can't just run your mouth and say whatever you want. Now, let's get into what happened with Giles and Martin. Now, I know some things that other people don't know, and I'll tell you why. A few years ago, I went to the Arnold Classic, and when I was on my way back, I was on a layover coming back to LA from Ohio, and Giles was on the layover with me, and it was just the two of us waiting for a flight. And we were sitting in the airport, and I knew of him, but I didn't know him. I had never spoken to him in my life. And Giles started telling me about he had an altercation with Derek Lunsford, and that he just said to me he doesn't know why Derek was so upset, but Derek was enraged, and he thought Derek was going to, you know, do something physical to him. Anyways, he whined to me about this for like 40 minutes while we're sitting in the airport. I didn't say a word. I just sat there and listened because, first of all, I didn't know this guy. He's like talking to me as a complete stranger. He's telling me, but all I kept thinking is, I wonder what the hell you must have said to get Derek so upset, because ever since I've known Derek, he's been a really nice guy. And I know he has a background as a wrestler, so I'm sure he could probably handle himself. But he must have really said something to piss Derek off. But Giles was just whining like a little bitch about, you know, he was so upset. He looked like he was going to cry. And all I could think of is, what a pussy. I mean, this guy is just going on and on and on. Now we get to the Derek situation. Apparently, Giles said something at some point. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry, Mark.
You mean Martin?
No. Giles said something. No, not Martin. Hold on. Giles said something at some point.
Now we're going to go to the Derek situation. You said. Do you mean Derek or do you mean Martin? No,
I'm sorry. The Martin situation. No.
Okay.
My bad. The Martin situation. Okay. So Giles said something about Martin. Now, according to Giles, he was talking about him at Prague. This is just what Giles is saying. We don't know like what exactly Giles said to who, but he said something that obviously bothered Martin enough to the point where Martin got angry about what he was saying. Now, people are saying it was just his critique of the bodybuilding. It could be that, but it could be something more, because Giles was running his mouth, you know.
But you got to know
about Martin.
I'm like Martin. Martin is so sensitive when it comes to any critique. Like, I've heard of so many people that he blocked. I think he even blocked me, and I don't even know for what. Like, I just can't tag him. I think everything works, but on one account I can't tag him. And I've been only saying like Martin's going to surprise everyone. Martin's great. I must have said one time, one tiny critique, like, and praise him like no one else. Every other time, I don't even know what I would have said, but can't tag him. I think he's very, very, very sensitive, and I hear that from all around. Everyone tells me that. Maybe everyone's wrong, but it seems to me that
I'm not
just
saying,
like overly sensitive.
I'm not saying that's wrong, and I'm not disagreeing with that at all. All I'm saying is something that Giles said somewhere pissed him off to the point where he confronted Giles. And I'm sure you've all seen the clip. I'm sure we don't have to play it. He confronted Giles at Prague during the pose down. He was actually in the audience, walked in there, and walked up to him and said, "Keep my name out of your mouth," or something like this, and actually slapped his phone out of his hand.
Yeah.
So he obviously was angry about something that Giles said. Now, I critique bodybuilders at shows also and other things, and we all do it because, we talk about shows and who looks good and not. But when I do it, I try to do it in a respectful manner. I don't talk shit about people. I might say, his glutes are not quite in or whatever, but I don't talk. There's a way to say something without being disrespectful. And there's another way of saying something. A lot of people
take it that way. Do you watch the RX Muscle video after FIBO, right? Where I was saying I saw Sergio Oliva in 6th place. The guy hates me now. He hates me. I said nothing bad about him. I tried to say it in the nicest way ever because I knew he was a little sensitive, but I didn't know he would hate me for it. He literally hates me. And I did nothing to him. And then afterwards, everyone else kept saying the same stuff. Fuad on his podcast, everyone. Then he is way better in Italy, which I also acknowledge. And he's like, yeah, I improved so much. And I'm just thinking, you said you were so great at FIBO. How can you improve so much in 3 months if you were that great? So maybe you're just being honest to yourself in this second for the first time. I don't know. But a lot of guys, and there's a lot of people that have actually the right to be angry because there's so much disrespect out there. But most of the commentators, like you, like Giles, they really don't say it in a disrespectful way. Maybe there's something in the background sometimes happening that we don't know. Of course, that can be. But other people in public, they go nuts. Like, we're usually all super nice. We just commented on very, very neutral. And also because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, I'm really trying to be neutral about it. I don't know, but it's
all right.
Someone's always going to be offended.
I will say that.
So,
go ahead.
After I saw the video with Ron Harris and Giles, and I was like, I just saw the clip from Martin, and I said okay, that looks pretty bad for Martin. But then also on that same video, Giles is like, yeah, I didn't want to release this. I told no one to release it, but he's the one that sent it to people. So he's the source where it got out from. But he's like, so I feel like on some level, maybe he's wanting attention from this. And then I kind of was thinking, okay, yeah, Martin fucked up because I was listening to Ron and Giles talk shit about him. And then after I talked to you, Larry, you were like, oh, this story happened too about Derek Lunsford. And I was like, okay, maybe this guy's just yakking his mouth to people and it got back to Martin. So that's a real possibility. I don't know on that one. I mean, I would probably respond the same way if I heard someone actually talking shit about me, behind my back. I'd say hey, keep my name out of your fucking mouth. But
also consider how many.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you.
How many people he's critiquing?
Hold on, I'm not done.
Hold
also,
on.
Go ahead. In defense of Martin, I have a similar thing that I understand, because when I post content, I have, 300, 400,000 followers. I get millions of views. You start to get so many hate comments that you start to just hate the public. Like you'll get frickin' 8,000 comments and 4,000 of them will be negative stuff. How you're a piece of shit, a bad bodybuilder, a steroid user, you got a little dick, you're going bald, you're fucking all this fucking hate stuff. And you finally get to a point where you're like, yeah, you can shrug it off for a while, but when it gets to just be like thousands and thousands of comments, when you read them, that it gets to you. And then you just like, somebody makes one and you go way overboard because you're like letting it all just start to compound, and instead of, I don't know, just letting it roll off. So if you are a more sensitive guy, even if you're not a sensitive guy, I think at some point that level of just criticism can get to you when people are like saying stuff, and maybe you just like respond. One finally breaks the camel's back and you just respond like, all right, this fucking guy I'm gonna have an issue with. I'm gonna have Leo have an issue with saying, oh, he looked like he was in 6th place, or I'm gonna have an issue with him, whatever Giles and Martin. So that kind of maybe just sheds a little bit more light. If you don't have a big following, maybe you don't really necessarily know that. So anyway,
no, I get that. I get that.
Okay, well, here's one thing. Here's one thing we know for a fact. Hold on, let me make a point that Luke talked about. What do we know for fact? It was on Giles' phone. Giles says he didn't want it to get out, but he shared it with a few trusted people. And then he went on multiple podcasts ranting about it for fucking nonstop. And then what's his name? Ron Harris made his thumbnail about it to amplify it even more. They did a whole podcast just on that. And Giles ranted about it. And Giles is demanding an apology. Okay. It was on his phone. If he didn't want it to get out, he should not have shared it with anybody. He should have shut his freaking mouth. But he wanted it to get out. That's a bullshit. I don't buy that story. He wanted to get out. He wanted to cry because he's a whiner.
Yeah, so I agree with that, with your diagnosis. I think that he's a little bit of a whiner, but I think he's like a woman. He's like a communicator. Like if something happens to a woman, she has to tell her 15 friends.
Gotta tell the
like
posse.
She can't stop. She can't just fucking not talk about it, right? And I think that's how he is. He's like a woman. He can't keep shit to himself. He's like a talker. That's why he's a commentator.
He's like a vegan.
I'm also a talker, but I can't keep shit to myself. And I talk to maybe one person if I really have to talk. But I think this guy is like, you know what I mean? I think that's his thing. I could really believe him that because it didn't come out for 2 weeks.
Leo, you probably talk to your wife if you need someone to talk to, which is extremely trusted. You're not talking to like some random other reporter or like I heard him
all different IFBB judges and promoters like that.
Yeah.
So, but what's
he wanted
Martin
retribution?
Did Martin make any kind of like comment about this or release any kind of statement or anything? I haven't been seeing.
No, actually, he has not. And I actually reached out to Martin, but he didn't respond back. He did. I guess. Okay. I think Martin just wants to leave it alone at this point. But somebody said, that Martin was at a party afterwards, and Giles said that they were both at some party afterwards, and that Martin could have spoken to him then and squashed it, but Martin chose not to say anything to him.
Martin,
in other words, trying to say that Martin talked shit
out of your mouth. I mean, that's Martin's message to him. I don't know if he had to
said what he had to say, and
Giles
could have said something.
There was nothing for Martin to.
Yeah.
What was Martin needing to talk to him at the party?
Giles should have went to Martin.
That would just escalate
that party.
Yeah, if Giles wanted to say something back, he could have approached Martin and said, "Hey, whatever, I want to smooth it over." But
Giles won't because he's a pussy.
Just trying to make it like where Martin had to come up and explain, like whatever. Martin said what he had to say, and like I'm not necessarily saying that like Martin was right, but also if Giles wanted like more words on it, he could have just approached Martin and said, "Hey, I apologize about what I said or that," or like figured it out if he wanted to, or he could have just fucking been a man and just gone off on his business and not released the video and gone on podcasts and talked about it.
Well, like what you said
on the other side,
Giles needing to run his mouth to everybody. I'll tell you, I've been in places in prison where if you run your mouth like that, you'll get killed.
Yeah.
Straight up. You talk shit in prison, just you're gonna end up with a fucking knife in you.
I think,
and there's we have this thing now with the social media that people think that they can just say whatever they can't want, and there's going to be no repercussions for it. But you might talk shit about the wrong person, right or wrong. You run your mouth, you talk shit about the wrong person, you might get your ass kicked somewhere or something worse.
I mean,
so you just can't just run your mouth all the time and say whatever the hell you think.
And social media too. Like if you run your mouth, look at Louis Marco. He got slapped by William Bonnick. So, I mean that happens everywhere.
And I want to say something. People got this idea that bodybuilders aren't fighters, bodybuilders are pussies. Some bodybuilders are not fighters, and some are pussies. But some are straight up killers, and some will kick your ass.
Yeah.
So not everybody's like that. So, I don't I'll say what I think, but I try to be respectful, but other people are not. Even idiots in the comments, they talk so much shit. I of course ignore it because I don't know them from anything. There could be a bot talking to me.
Yeah. But it's better not to read.
I can tell you this. When I made my first YouTube video ever, but somebody just asked me to make a YouTube video. And I talked about my whole prison thing, and the kidnapping thing in Mexico. That thing got over 3 million views, but the comments were unreal. There's tens of thousands of comments.
Mm-hmm.
People literally talking shit, arguing politics, and there's so much bullshit talked in there. And I never even commented on any of it. And I could actually got angry. People, most of it was positive, but I had people calling me all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when I made the video, I didn't even know it was going on YouTube. Somebody asked me if you want to shoot a film. And I'm like, sure. I didn't know what YouTube was. I had just got out of prison. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I've got all these people talking mad, crazy shit. And at the time, go ahead.
No, finish.
Yeah, I was new to social media, so sometimes I'd read some of those comments and I would get pissed. I remember I was on a podcast when I first got into this with Boston Lloyd, and somebody was just talking mad shit. And I literally we can meet and fight wherever you're at. I'll fucking go there, or you can come to my gym. Because this guy just kept talking shit.
People like to say whatever they want to behind a fake profile and talk shit, and that's just a human trait. I think it's just ubiquitous in all cultures. If you don't have any repercussion because you're behind a screen and no one knows your name, then you kind of get the freedom just to say whatever you want, I guess. And some people that are maybe not happy with their life or more negative or more insecure will just attack someone that they don't know or whatever, and don't like. So I think that's just the reality of humanity.
You guys might have forgot this, but just last year I got into Lee Priest because he just started talking shit about me and Armin Adibi, and I had never even said anything about him or talked about him or anything. And all of a sudden he's talking mad shit about me and Armin. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know what your fucking problem is, dude, but if you have a problem with me, we can handle this.
There's
we
also
can go to Las Vegas and go to a gym somewhere and fucking deal with it.
There's also a level where some people just like to be trolls. They just like to try to rage bait and just get a response out of you. And I think that, you know, that's another level to it also, with people saying shit like that. So, I mean, let's there's some people commenting.
Regardless of,
Go ahead.
no, I did not take an Adderall today.
Somebody took a super chat. It said, in the video, were you all surprised at how Samson agreed with Martin? I didn't see that. Did you guys see Samson agreeing with Martin?
Yeah.
No,
But Samson's also someone
actually
who's very,
Martin turned
very
around
sensitive.
and said,
Oh, okay. So does Samson have like a thing kind of against Giles too?
Probably.
Well, I guess Martin said something to Samson, and you can see Samson like basically backing up.
If I didn't do this podcast, I would not know about half the shit going on. What's that, Leo? Or what's that, Larry?
I don't know. Like, yeah, Samson has the same thing, right? I was also blocked by him years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. I think you're still blocked by Samson, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's like, bro.
I don't know what somebody's saying. Like, I have 1,000
I like the guy. Fights. I like him.
Let me just tell you something.
Really.
Yeah,
I've been fighting since I was
Trump Vance 2024. It's kind of a guy thing. Like, if you work construction, you just razz each other. Like, if you get new fucking boots on a work site, you better be ready to just eat shit. If you go to a family reunion and you got ripped jeans, like, you better be ready just to get fucking ripped on by everyone. It's just kind of a fun thing, as long as it stays within some reason, you know. But like, if someone's sensitive, then, you know, they might get rage baited and go off about it. So, let's see. Someone said Fuad thinks he thought and got knocked out cold on a boat back in the day. I think I remember hearing that. Fuad was like talking shit or something to somebody, and somebody punched him and knocked him out.
Crazy.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember, this is a long time ago, but Chris Cormier walked up to Victor Martinez, and Victor Martinez was sitting down in a chair, and Cormier basically said something, confronted Martinez, and this was at FIBO, and Martinez came out of that chair and hit him one time and knocked him out.
Yeah,
like, right on the spot.
Victor was a badass always.
Yeah. So there's just some people that you just don't mess with, because, you know, they will do something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that being said, you know, you could talk all the shit you want. But I know I try to be respectful, you know, when I'm talking about anybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've been to
ramifications
prison.
To what you
get into a fight with anybody. You got respect because of just learning that with you know, guys. It's not really your personality to talk shit either. I mean, if you got something to say, you'll just call someone up and talk to them about it.
Yeah.
No, Larry's.
If I got something to say, I'll say it to you.
Yeah. All right. Do you got any listener questions? I
think we saw some back there, but I have to scroll back.
Let me look.
Someone said something.
Someone said it's raining here in California. It's not raining where I'm at yet, but it's supposed to rain tomorrow.
They said it's supposed to start raining tomorrow.
Someone's talking about Dorian Yates used a piece of paper. Paper works. Worked for Dorian. Yeah, it worked for Dorian, but I'm sure that other bodybuilders use something else. Some people don't even use anything. So whatever floats your boat.
Somebody asked. Someone asked, Primo, Mass, and VAR are out for most people. You think EQ and Test could do a good to go? Yeah. I think a lot of people. I mean, the stack back in the 80s that Lee Haney and Gasperi were using was basically Test, EQ, and Tren. That was the main stuff. So I think if you take those and you just take an EI with it, you probably have to take it. And they say that EQ blocks estrogen. I believe that it probably could to some extent, but I don't know if it's going to block it as that much. So since there is some estrogen conversion, you probably have to use an AI with that if you want to use it for a contest prep.
I'm like a long-term Primo lover. Like I used it. I found it back in 2018 and I gained a shitload of weight on it and zero side effects. So I used it just consecutively, but I would phase in if I went into like a leaning phase, maybe I would throw in like a little bit of Tren or whatever, and then I would pull out the Primo. But back in like July, I hadn't used EQ in like 10 years. Back in July, I decided to give it a shot and try it. And I just ran it 1-to-1. I think I was at like 700 milligrams of test, 700 milligrams of EQ. And like my progress on it was insane. Like I got super lean. I had no water retention. I don't really convert very much estrogen anyways, but I didn't blood test, but like I was way leaner than I had been previously running anything else, like, other than like when I was actually dieting for Tren. But literally all I did was change out the EQ. So EQ is very effective. Like Larry said, if you're a high converter, you might want to add a little bit of AI. If you're not a high converter, I probably would skip it because I don't necessarily think I think it does have some anti-aromatase qualities. But yeah, so it's a good alternative right now. The other cool thing about it is it's high dose. It's usually 300 milligrams per milliliter. So you can get a lot cheaper of a cycle than buying 100 milligram Primo and running 700-800 milligrams of Primo a week. 700 milligrams of EQ a week is like 2.25 cc's. So it's like, it's so much, a bottle goes so much further. So
also EQ increases your red blood cell count, so it's going to make you more vascular and more full.
I think all
steroids
do that. I don't necessarily know if EQ does it more so. I've blood tested on it, and my hematocrit was exactly the same. Either if I was on testing Primo, testing Anadrol, testing EQ, it really wasn't different for me. But anyways,
I guess it depends on how you respond. But like Luke said, if you don't aromatize, like I know one guy, he doesn't aromatize no matter what he takes. His estrogen is always super low. So he doesn't need an aromatase inhibitor. But if you do aromatize, then you throw an aromatase inhibitor, and that's going to – the thing about Primo and Masteron is it doesn't aromatize at all. So if you only are running that and lower dose of test, you're probably not going to get much aromatization. So that's when you get the hardening effect. But if you take an AI with EQ or test, you probably can get a similar effect, because you're just going to block the estrogen or actually get rid of it.
Yeah. Somebody asked if you use Boston Lloyd's forum still. I never used Boston Lloyd's forum. Him and I were just buddies.
I never used it at all.
We would just send stuff back and forth to each other whenever we were like trying out something new or doing whatever. But I
think they're talking about.
Yeah, I heard back on when Leo Longevity had it was alive. He would talk about saying he could get shit from like overseas really well with it. Some like I think some Indian pharmacy or something like that would ship him stuff. So
I think they use it as a source for a gear source. His forum.
Yeah. That's what he's talking about. It was a paid forum too, so you could only get on there.
Right. I think his ex-wife and her boyfriend is still running it to this day.
Still running it. Yeah.
I used the forum because he gave me access. I looked at it sometimes, but
was it good info or was it just like
what people he attracts? So
yeah,
I don't think it's good info for really anyone. I mean, there's always some clever guys somewhere, but then mostly also some clever guys that are nuts.
Yeah. Remember the old what was it, Professional Muscle forums? It was just a fucking shit show of like debauchery on there.
The
I don't know
best
if you
thing
were
is still what's it called? JP's forum, Jordan Peters.
Jordan's. Yeah. I was on his app for a while, but I didn't ever go on his forum.
No,
But there's just a lot of trolling goes on. I remember back in the day there was like somebody talking about cycles and stuff, and they were kind of saying like people thought it was Dorian or something like that, but I think it was just like people lied about fucking what they were taking on there too. People would just go on there and
Oh, you remember there was the one that was supposed to be Nasser. What was it called?
yeah, I think that was on Professional Muscle, but I don't remember the
Yeah.
screen name. It was like something. Fuck, I can't remember.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about too. And they claimed it was Nasser.
Yeah, okay,
Talking.
that's what it was. It wasn't Dorian, it was Nasser saying he was taking like
Yeah.
crazy doses and doing all kinds of like crazy drugs and all stuff like that. So,
well, just knowing Nasser personally, and I believe that probably could be. I don't know that was him, but there's a good chance it was, because
yeah,
the things that he said were the things that I know Nasser actually did.
somebody just put it in the chat. The name was GH15.
Yeah, GH15. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably it could have been Nasser because, he did.
Yeah.
All
right. We got any other bodybuilding news to converse about?
Leo
I just competed. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Let's hear it. I started watching your podcast, but then I got a call, or your the one about your the show that you tagged me in on Instagram. I started watching it, but I got a call. I didn't finish it. So
regale us. You probably, if Larry goes on my Instagram, you can look at my routine there.
I saw
it. And also the commentary. No, like if you would do it now, so people could see it.
You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, that would be cool, huh? The thing was, I never had ankle edema, and if I had it, I could get rid of it by dropping the GH, but I just can't get rid of it. Couldn't get rid of it, and I had to use 6 hydrochlorothiazide, which is it's not much, because
6?
those are see. Let me explain.
Depends on the dosage.
You learn something.
Okay.
So it's 12.5 milligrams. And what you think I just said, you just thought I talked about diazide. And I didn't. What people call diazide is triamterene and hydrochlorothiazide in a mix, which usually comes at 37.5 and 25. So 6 tablets are still almost the same as 2 diazide. 6 tablets of because 3 tablets of the hydrochlorothiazide itself is the amount of hydrochlorothiazide in a diazide. And I did not take the mix because I knew if I have like smaller tabs, I can adjust better. And it is without the triamterene, which is a low potassium sparing. I was eating a tad more potassium, so I just added 2-3 bananas or so. It's right there. Routine Dr. Micro is
this one right here in the middle?
No.
Down to the right.
New York Pro, obviously. This is not it.
Down to the right.
Right. Routine with Dr.
Right
Mike Israel commentary. Yeah. So yeah. I had to take 6, and I never needed anything. Like need it.
Your condition looked really good.
Yeah, it looked good because I nailed it with the diazide, the hydrochlorothiazide. But I need to fix the issue. Like I just emailed, blood tested, and And maybe you want to know what I'm going to test on. This is also a little bit regarding like my own history, but technically it could also be high liver enzymes that can lead to edema, because that can also lead to kidney stress, filtration stress. So I'm looking that up. I don't take any orals right now. I haven't taken any for long, but I took Superdrol, which is pretty harsh. I know my BUN always a tad high sometimes. I just got my rhythm health back, so my albumin is good, which sometimes it isn't. So I'll test my RBC just to know, because last time that was a little up. I'm going to test again cystatin C and EGFR, but last time, which is just 6 weeks ago, that was okay to see how my kidneys are, and then some electrolyte levels and creatine kinase. Yeah, and we'll see what the test says. Right now, my edema is better, way better, but there's still a little. So it seems like the diuretics helped a bit, even in the long run, unless it just is going to pile up again. So we'll see about that. But the thing is, I reached out to the IFBB and told them about it, and said I'm a little worried, so I don't know if I'm going to compete in Fort Lauderdale, which I was signed the contract for already.
You already signed the contract, yeah.
And they were very nice, so they were very understanding, and said, let us know as soon as you know, and then we take you off the list if needed. And then my flights get canceled from the government shutdown. So I'm like, okay, that's fate. So fate doesn't want me to compete either. You know, I have the tendency not to do it as well because of the issues. And then, I mean, fate just stepped in and did the job for me. So I just texted. I don't have a response yet. I think I'm going to call them again tomorrow just to make sure. Because we're like, I send another email and then I call them tomorrow, because I don't want them to miss it. I mean, I did it, but doesn't mean they get it. But usually they should, because they already have my email. It shouldn't go to junk because they already responded. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the story. But obviously, I'm flying to Vienna anyway, so I'm gonna do that show in 4 weeks.
Okay.
And I think I don't feel unhealthy. I've always had ankle edema from GH, so I think I'll be fine. But well, yeah. If you go out there, you can see the posing from this morning. That's the fourth post, because the first three are pinned. So my last post, what I looked like this morning.
After I think it's probably just electrolyte imbalance. Did you do a meal after, like a high carb meal after?
No,
you just went right back on your normal meal prep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably just electrolyte imbalance. I doubt anything's like stressed that hard, because you didn't have like a history of kidney issues and stuff before, which is what
that's this thing. My kidney I've always looked at my blood pressure to be good. I've always looked at my kidney numbers to be good.
Has your blood pressure been good since the show?
Yeah, so since the show I haven't taken it, but I feel fine.
Okay.
I also took out the telmisartan, which I just take for prevention.
Yeah.
To keep my blood pressure low, because I read that telmisartan with some people actually causes edema.
Oh,
It's
okay.
weird. I don't know how, because it could also resolve edema if people.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that either.
Reasons. But yeah, so I read it. So I was like, dude, okay, what can it be? Like, if the GH is out and there's still some. So I investigated everything.
And it's just getting better by the day since
now
Saturday.
It's getting a little better, but now I have GH back in, so it should come back.
Okay.
But I'll see to which degree, and if it's the normal degree with GH, I could think that maybe the tesamorelin I replaced the GH with still caused some ankle edema. See, that degree would be kind of insane.
I would
But,
check your blood pressure just to keep an eye on it. I mean, it's just something to keep an eye on. And then I mean, now it's still kind of a long time to still have it from that far back, because usually I would get like some edema when I would come after like show day. I would get some edema like in my wrists and stuff. I noticed it, but I think it was just electrolyte rebound.
yeah. Oh,
But it would last me maybe like like 5-6 days sometimes.
Yeah, but that's because you gain weight.
Yeah,
So I didn't gain weight.
true. But I mean, still, electrolytes they're gonna make you be different anyways. Just the electrolyte balance, because the hydrochlorothiazide pushes out so much sodium.
Yeah.
But
Someone said bodybuilders always say they have good blood pressure, but check one time a year. I can tell you this: I go to the doctor for regular checkups, and they always check my blood pressure, probably every 2 months, at least.
Okay.
I have never in my life had high blood pressure, so there is some genetic component to that, because
you can get an real good one, an arm run blood pressure monitor for $30-something on Amazon. Like, you think I don't have one?
I got a funny story about.
I do.
I got a funny story about blood pressure. I just went to Turkey for the hair transplant, and they make you test. They go in and make sure they do blood labs and stuff, and they checked my blood pressure, and they said like, oh, it's like too high, and I was like, oh, okay, what is it? And then they were kind of like doing it wrong. They were like, they had me like up on a table, and they were like drawing my blood on one arm and like taking the blood pressure on the other, and I'd literally just traveled for like 22 hours to get there and stuff. So I was like, all right, guys, let's just do it right. Like, I'll sit down, like put my arm at like my heart height and like tested it in. So I tested it again, and I was like, oh, what's that number? And they go by like metric or something. They go by different numbers. So I put it in my phone and I converted it, and it was like, the second test they did was like 125/85. I was like, that's not fucking high blood pressure. I'm 250 pounds. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's okay.
It's like normal blood pressure. Maybe we just have like, they give us different numbers because we're in America. But I was like, that's not really that high, especially after what I've like traveled and been through. But they said the second time it was fine. So I also want to mention, I ordered the Rhythm Health blood labs code Leo 25. I ordered yesterday, so I'll get it in like 3 or 4 more days, and then I'm going to run the labs. So they don't have.
You know what's really cool? But the estradiol is really, it's not the ultra sensitive. So the regular numbers will come back from 20 to 50.
Okay.
But they have another. They have the regular range and units, but they test more sensitive. So mine came back at 22, and I was on trend.
Oh, okay.
So that if they would not have tested more sensitively, it would have been 100 or something. Yeah.
What do you mean they test more sensitive?
I asked them. I forgot. Maybe it's still in here. Maybe the history is still. Oh yeah, it's still in here. So I said, "Is your estrogen test ultra sensitive?" Because mine should have been way higher, because I take something that would make a regular estrogen test show up high, usually in the 150s. She said, "Hi Leo, we use a sensitive immunoassay for estradiol, which we validated against LCMS, in brackets, the ultra sensitive method, but we don't use an LCMS machine directly for routine testing." So whatever that means, I guess that was a good explanation for why it's so accurate. So you can even run nandrolone and get a good estrogen number, not like, it's pretty good.
Okay, so they're saying that's accurate then.
Yeah, of course. I was just surprised that it was accurate.
Yeah, because it just says estradiol. I was going to ask you
exactly,
that
but
also on the thyroid, it just says they test T3. Why just T3. They don't test
No.
TSH. And
No, they
T4.
test T3 and TSH and free T3 too.
Oh, because it doesn't say that on the website. It just says T3.
Yeah, it does just say T3 on the website. But
No, I think the problem is they have 3 categories. And then in one, it says metabolic thing, and there is the T3. And then the free T3, they put in another one for some reason.
I see.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but they test SHBG, total testosterone, free testosterone, estrogen.
How big is that?
HDL ratio, free T3, albumin, ferritin, triglycerides, vitamin D. My vitamin D is 60. Very good.
Very good.
Thyroid stimulating hormones, so TSH, total cholesterol, HDL, APOB, which no one tests.
Yeah.
Um,
You got to add that to your blood labs. What
Yeah.
I saw, there's like you stick some sort of like the thing in there to draw the blood. How big's that? How big's that needle?
Dude, there is no. You don't feel the needle. I don't know. I can't tell.
The tiny one.
You have this. I think I have it here. You have this round thing.
Yeah.
This one, right? And you pull it off like here. You pull it off, and then you
Okay, it looks tiny.
stick that on. Yeah, it's like it looks like it does kind of what you do when you do an insulin test, but a bigger. You get a bigger slice.
Now, Leo, I wanted to take the test and get a lab draw on the same day from
Yeah.
Quest just to check the accuracy of the thing. But
Yeah, why not?
you have to sign up for the year, right? You can't just get a test.
No, you can cancel it anytime.
You can cancel it anytime. You can. They
Okay,
even
so you
ask
can-
you every month if you want to skip.
Okay, so you can. I can go buy the test and then get the lab draw because I want to compare to just see
Yeah.
for myself like how accurate it is
Yeah.
compared to the one I get from private MD.
I'm in
Yeah, why not?
I'm in a chat with a bunch of coaches, like kind of top industry coaches, and one of them said that he did the Rhythm Health and he tested. He didn't test them like the same day. It was like a couple weeks later, but he said the numbers were the same, like on a regular blood lab or on that. So I was curious also because another coach said he didn't think it was that accurate. So I might order some more, but I might not. I'll see. I'd rather you did it, Larry, so I didn't have to spend twice the money.
No, I want to. I'm going to go on take that draw and go on the same day and get a draw from private MD, and then basically compare the results. I want to order the exact same tests that they have.
You know, the cool thing is with the Rhythm Health is like because it's at home. Whenever you get up, you can do it fasted.
Yeah, you don't have to make
And when you make an appointment, try to get the earliest appointment that you can get at 8 o'clock. Like sometimes it takes you 2 weeks to wait. You know, or you'd be like, okay, fuck it, I'm not gonna go fasted.
Sometimes even when I do an appointment at 8 o'clock, I'm sitting there till 9 o'clock because they are like taking other people or whatever. Sometimes I've done that before too.
Yeah.
They're just taking their time.
If you have, like, I've never had that. Like I've never been at a lab corp where they took long.
Really?
You know, I'm lucky.
The one that I go to is like right next to the hospital, and I think they send a lot of their people from the hospital in there or something like that. Or I don't know, maybe like a person didn't show up. But I've had it happen a few times where literally I'll be sitting there for like I'll have the signed up at 8, and then I won't get my blood test until like 8:40.
No, that's true. I go to the same one that you do, and I've had that situation where I had to wait around.
Yeah. So, all right.
But I'm confident. I'm confident. I'm actually healthy, and I'm also confident for the next show because you didn't show it now, but I just uploaded a posing video from today in the locker room.
Oh, you want me to pull it up?
And it looked. I feel really good about it. I look really good. And I got 4 more weeks. Maybe I can even grow a tad.
Did you feel like you nailed your peak at?
Oh yeah. I mean, I can still be even more shredded, but that was the best I could look. 100%. That was the best I could look.
Nice.
I got a pump and I got rid of the edema. Like that's a hard task.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so like getting rid of the edema, cool, but then try to get a pump. Like
What do you
sure, you
think
can
your,
swallow like that many thiazides, till you dry enough, but then you cramp.
Where's the
and
video
don't
you
get a
just
pump.
uploaded?
Under Earth,
Oh, this one right here.
the back double.
look good, man.
You look good there.
What do you think has been your best?
You
I
still
know
look,
you have like so many shows. What do you think was your best like presentation? What show?
I think last New York Pro was my best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if my presentation was that great. Here, I just bought the live stream. That's why I had this footage from Mike Israel till commenting and stuff. So yeah. But I really don't know how I didn't make top 10 in this show. Like maybe I have less muscle here or there than someone else, but I wouldn't change my structure with like anyone besides second place. Second place has a way better structure, but
Who was
that's like second place was Kellen something from Canada. Amazing guy. Like he's like should have won. Should have so won the show. Like by a landslide should he have won. I don't get it.
How'd what's his name? Stanimal look? Didn't he get like 5th or something like that?
Yeah, he was 5th. He was very dry. He had to make even more weight, so he was measured under 5'10", and then he had to really dry out. I didn't see much of him, to be honest. My wife said he always let his gut hang out, though, in between. That's obviously not good. He has some really solid poses, but I don't feel there's anything like to win a show. I think he's not spectacular enough. He's like the thing is they love hamstrings, which is my weakness, and that always brings you far up front. He has really good hamstrings. Like his muscles are all like they're very good.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't like.
Well, he
I mean,
won
besides
shows.
maybe
I think
his-
he won like
besides maybe
the
his biceps.
Rigno years
Yeah,
ago.
but he won shows 2020. I would have won shows in 2020.
No, I think
sorry,
it was
but
before that. I
that's the
wanna say it was
truth.
probably like
With the
20
physique right now that I have, I would have won shows in 2020.
I think it was probably 2018 when he won the Frigno.
Yeah.
But
It
like
was-
that
it was
classic
way
is
easier
like
back
not
then.
what it is now. Classic
Yeah.
is
In
like so
28
prolific.
In 2018, I would have gotten to the Olympia easy. The way I look now, but now it's like everyone's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, not
solid.
everyone. I think, like I said, I think it should have been top 10 easy, but there's no one really bad. I mean, there's some guys that place in front of me, they have no structure, and I don't get it, but it's okay. I just don't understand their criteria also with the winner. Like the guy was full and hard, but he was narrow, and his head was like bigger than his shoulder width. If you look at him, like, yeah, for real. And the guy in second, so classic, such an X frame, like amazing.
Where can we pull up pictures from it right now?
Maybe just go at Kellen. What's his name? Just go at Kellen.
Kellen?
Kellen. I think
Is this
then
on
he's going to show up.
Instagram?
Yeah, just go Kellen Wilson on Instagram.
Kellen W bodybuilding.
Yeah, Kellen W bodybuilding.
This is the guy that got second.
That's the guy who should have won. Yes.
Oh, I see it. It's right here.
Could have easily won.
Let me see.
I'll check it out now.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Oh yeah, there's you see his
So which-
presentation is like the 5th post or something. Post number 5.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Yeah. That's his posing routine.
Yeah.
Nice. They did a dark background at the Steve Carr.
So this is the
Nice.
winner?
Yeah. No. This is number 2.
You got second.
Oh.
What do you think, Larry?
He looks
He's got a
big.
lot of muscle.
Yeah, he looks big.
He looks big, and he's got a lot of thickness, and
Look now.
his conditioning's good.
His back shot is. His conditioning was why he lost. He could have been a tad tighter. But look at this back alone, and the separation and the width and the density, and then look at the winner. It's like, bro, there's no contest. The guy here should have won easily.
Yeah.
I don't get it, man.
All right, I gotta get going. I got shit I gotta do.
Yeah.
So you guys got any other important stuff, or ready to wrap it?
Yeah, I mean, let's just look at the winner, and then I think we can wrap it.
Okay.
The winner's name is Ethan.
I got
Ethan Gohari. Ethan Gohari.
ETHEN.
AN.
I found him.
Ethan
Gohari.
Okay.
I think you can take the second post. The second post there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got some wheels on him. Oh, his waist is really narrow too. But yeah, he doesn't have a very wide shoulders. His head is as wide as his clavicle.
This one here?
Second post. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think he's classic at all. And he has weak arms. And no separation on the arm.
He's got big wheels though. His taper is nice on his down to his waist.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's bad, but
yeah, no, I
don't see him winning. Look at the arms too.
His arms not too big.
Huge head.
Huge
He's
head.
got really good conditioning.
Yeah. But he has no conditioning in the arms. How come? How has he no conditioning in the arms? None. No, nothing.
They look a little bit jimmied. There's just like a little extra layer of water on his arms that's not on the rest of his body.
Maybe that's it.
In his bicep, at least.
Yeah,
he's got a little bit of a water layer, it looks like.
His back is obviously not bad, but
yeah, his back's pretty good.
But the other guy's way better. I don't see it.
This guy looks more like a bodybuilder to me. He just has a little more like bodybuilder.
He does his classic pose too.
He does have a nice waist, but his kind of like shoulders are a little bit more like, I don't know, blocky maybe.
Yeah, and if my head is that big, I shave my beard, man. Then it gets less big.
Can you grow a beard, Leo?
This is where I'm right now.
That's as much beard as you can grow.
But there's something coming here. I'm trying.
In. Enough trenbolone, maybe it'll come. That's what happened to me.
No, that like I can steroids don't do anything.
They don't?
Don't get me wrong. The winner, he looks good, but to me, it's not a classic physique winner. Just not.
Maybe like a 212 guy.
Yeah, his also he has like a little innerly rotated shoulders. I don't know. Like he looks. I don't know. I think that structurally he's so far behind the second guy. He could do whatever he wanted to. It's like to me trying to look like Mike Sommerfeld. But it's not going to happen, man. You know.
Someone asked something about Giles, like why he plays top 6. They said he's so small.
He's got good structure. I don't know. I didn't see his.
I know he's in good shape. I don't know. I personally think obviously I'm better than him, but the judges don't.
He's got pretty good structure. He's an Asian dude, small joints, small waist.
Well, I think Leo, your thing is just your frame is bigger than these guys, so you're at kind of a crossroads where I don't know how you're pretty much at your weight capacity, right? Or no?
No, I'm not. And they also tell me I'm too small.
Well, I think because your
And
frame
then,
is bigger, you need more muscle just to be rounder.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because
Got to get you on the insulin protocol, Leo.
Nah.
it's like if your frame is bigger, you just need more muscle to have that same look of roundness as a guy with a smaller frame.
I have a hard time putting on muscle, but if I can, then go. I can put on, dude. Like you can. I can weigh in like 213 right now. I will something like that. But if I would try hard, it's like that's also a difference. Like just because I weigh in 6 pounds under doesn't mean like I couldn't weigh in if I wanted to 12 pounds under. Right?
Maybe if you train with Regan, you'll get on that exercise.
So I'll have to try to be like 225 ready.
Yeah.
And then
take off the water.
Yeah. That has to be the goal.
Yeah.
So I have to be 225 ready and then do the protocol as if I had ankle water.
How heavy do you get? How heavy do you get in the off season?
Dude, this year I was like barely 230. Barely.
Yeah, but you're kind of regrowing from your bicycle phase too. So
yeah, but I think that's kind of over. Yeah, I'm better than I was before. Yeah, it's hard for me to put. I'm not like this super responder. I've always had to figure so much out and had to be so meticulous about my training. I'm just like, I might be just like better than my genes, compared to other people. And then so I see everyone around me growing from stupid ass training, and I'm like here, philosophizing
I don't think it's the training.
my ass off.
I think it's the food, probably.
Yeah, it's the food. It's the food.
I think you train hard. I don't think that taking drugs or training hard is the issue. I think it's probably just not pushing food.
Yeah, but I don't think my surplus is not enough. Like I put on,
Leo, when I got my
just need more time.
I was eating so much food. It was like unreal the amount of food I had to eat.
Yeah, but you're different. You have a way different metabolism and everything.
I have a fast metabolism, so I had to eat. I had to push.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, I don't. Mine is not like yours.
Even still, though, you still might need to push the food to put on the size.
Yeah, if I push the food, I get fat. It's very fast.
Even eating just clean food?
Yes. Yeah, my body doesn't matter. If my body has too much of a surplus, it's like, all righty, we're saving that as fat.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. If I do too much of a surplus, I just get bigger and stronger.
Yeah, a big surplus to me doesn't. I mean, I have never been in a big surplus and cranked the shit out of the steroids. I don't know if that would do something. I don't think so, but yeah.
Probably not. I mean, it's just genetic. Growing is just genetic.
I just think I need longer, but at least I don't fuck it up. My structure stays. Maybe I just need longer. I love the sport anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you took like a couple years off and you got down to look like you didn't even bodybuild, and then you like regained it. So the fact that you've regained like 30, 40 pounds in itself is kind of like a big thing. Imagine if you hadn't like taken that time off to go that other direction, you'd probably be like 10 pounds more muscle at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you got to like regain all that muscle to get back to your off season.
Yeah, it took me a year, and I think I regained kind of like 40 pounds in the same conditioning.
Yeah, which that's really impressive, So, all right, I got to bounce. Are you guys going to stay on?
No, we're good. I think.
Yep.
All right, guys. If any comments, don't forget subscribe. If you want us to talk about anything next week, don't forget to put it in the comments or actually send it to us on Instagram. You can reach all of us on Instagram. It's in the description, all our Instagram contacts and stuff like that. And that's it out.
All right.
Alrighty.
Later, guys.
I believe that the fires we're cast upon are the flames we shall become. I believe in a common cause.